Welcome. My name is Wanjiku Wanjohi.
And my name is Magnus MG, and this is Conversations with Magnus and Wanjiku.
So today we are going to be discussing divorce. And
Yep.
just FYI, I am divorced, separated and divorced for about 8 years.
I am divorced twice.
Oh goodness, I'm trying to use good language right now. I was about to go into profanity. Yeah. All right, so today we'll be talking about divorce from this context. When you divorce, according to my analysis, which you might agree or you might not agree, men tend to regress or stagnate, while women go into self-discovery, self-development. It's all about their self-growth and things like that. What are your thoughts?
Truth is, yes, that happens a lot for men. Men tend to, I wouldn't even go into my experience yet. Men, and a lot of men I've seen who've got into divorce have moved from good to bad. You know?
Yeah.
They tend to move backwards in how they dress, in how they live, in everything that they do.
Yeah.
It's hard to sometimes pinpoint on specific things, reasons why, but mostly because of, divorce itself is grief. You know, you really do lose something that is, and you're still alive. You know, they say divorce is like death.
And you still have to see the person.
Yeah, it's worse than death.
Yeah.
So for a man, imagine you've been taking care of him, washing his clothes, cooking him a good meal. He comes home, he has sex, he has everything he needs.
You have delivered to him children who
Yes.
you're watching and taking care of, taking
Yes.
to school almost every other day.
Yes.
Maybe once in a while you say, oh, I have no meeting, so
Yes.
maybe I might just, or even you appoint a driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
And then after a while, all that is cut. You come to a cold home, no lights, no children, no warm meal, no sex, no love, and after a while, it gets to a man.
Actually, when I think of sex, it's not that there's no sex. We would say that there's no making love.
There's no making love.
You can have sex with every other person outside there. You can
You're right, actually.
have it all delivered.
Very true.
But when it comes to a family setting, and this is your woman, your wife, I think the kind of sex you have there is totally different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
It's sex that helps you to bond and to become better.
Yeah.
And it's actually making love, but yes. But at the end of the day, for any man who goes through that side and was used to having a helper, it's very hard. It's very hard to start learning how, okay, I need to iron my clothes. I need to have my clothes washed every other week. I need to, there's a certain way, my shoes are brushed, everything's done. The only thing I probably wake up, I drink coffee, I brush my teeth, I wear my clothes and I'm out.
So even health-wise, you're affected because there's a high probability you're not balancing your meals. You have enough pressure from your new lifestyle. You still have work that you have to handle. The focus that you had before is not there. In fact, I've seen most people go into high blood pressure.
Actually, that's a big thing for men.
Yes.
Especially after divorce.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hypertension. Men get high blood pressure. Again, diet. You're not used to eating. You're used to eating a balanced meal throughout. You never know what a balanced meal is. You just eat it. And then now you're on your own in a cold, empty house. Even when you have money, but you don't know what to eat.
Yeah.
You're stuck with, okay, how am I going to balance my meals? And so health-wise, you probably start losing weight or you start eating badly because you're no longer now eating a good balanced meal. Yeah. You're eating what's available, probably even just junk food.
Now that you have mentioned meals, in one of our discussions, I want us to discuss dating men who are divorced and looking at their lifestyle in their divorced setting, what we look for as ladies. It's a whole topic by itself, because we'll come to your house and there are things that we are looking at just for our own satisfaction to know where you are at in your life. But let me tell you about ladies.
Please do.
So there's a high probability you have been the provider. There's but now this Kanairo, my God, if I may say Kanairo, women are the ones who seem to be providers at the same time. But there's a high probability the man has been the provider. So for the woman who has now moved out from the home, you'll realize most men restrict your time when you're coming back into the house, who you're interacting with, who's in your friendship circle. Sometimes even career-wise, they might say, oh, I don't want my woman to work, or I want her to only work in these kinds of environment. I can only open for her shop. We go to Turkey and get clothes. Kind of
Boutique,
setting,
salon.
boutique, salon, and kind of that kind of stuff. But there are those who are actually career women. And as you say, there's a part of grief. We all grieve because this is something, when you are going into it, you are not thinking that you're going to have a divorce. First or second time or even third. You're going in there thinking, this is it. This is it. I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. I want to wake up with them, even though they're so annoying in so many ways, but it's okay, we will deal. But at least I'll have a partner.
I always laugh when I hear that side.
Yeah, but now it has come to an end. We will most likely go through the grieving.
Yes.
But at the same time, maybe because I have been there, you realize I'm in the market. All the weight I had piled up because of delivering those babies and getting comfortable and my hormones being all over the place. I want to solve solutions into that. And these days we can go somewhere on Riverside or somewhere on Riera Road and we can be fixed just right.
All right.
Oh yeah, and you can get all the nice, especially if you have some nice money.
All right.
But we get into going to the gym. You find people have gotten a new activity. They're now hanging out with a different group of people. It's more of self-discovery, aligning yourself, looking for your purpose. You know, it's like a new lease of life because, which reminds me, in one of my relationships that I thought would be long-term, I found myself leaning towards, I'm a helper in my nature as a woman. But then his dreams somehow started becoming my dreams. Until one time we had a conversation, I was like, how come I am taking on whatever it is that you want to do and I'm trying to align in whatever it is that you want to do? What happens to my life? It's a conversation I was having loudly with him. And he's like, I think that's the way it is just designed. Yeah. As being a helper, okay, you're going in a certain direction. How do I fit into your program?
Naturally.
Or natural, that's the way it is. But now here I am, I'm the one who's defining where it is that I want to go, what business I want to engage in, whatever it is that I want for my life. So, you know, for us now, we are on a marathon of life. You're eating life with the biggest spoon that you can you can take up. And guess who we are finding in the field of our dating life?
Who?
Your brothers that are on stagnation mode, that are on regression.
On that, let me just add something. It's, I think because we have also not, there's a lot of women have been empowered. Let's remember that. Last 25 years, we've grown up with you. All we had was women empowerment from the 90s. Okay? So now in the 40s, we're divorced. Women have been empowered throughout. So your mindset is really there. It's ready. When you hit that wall, the wall of divorce, you can be able to easily, quickly change things that are moving because you've already been primed to it. You're ready. You might not know what all that empowerment was all about at that point. Of course, you've enjoyed it. You've moved up. You've done courses. You are sponsored. You got to certain things in life because of all that. But then the time comes, and you know, this divorce comes, grief hits, and then all of a sudden, you know, you remember, you know, I'm empowered. You know, I've been empowered. I'm told I'm certain way. You know, I've gone to school. I've got the same kind of education. I sit on the board. You know, with men. I earn a certain salary that is commensurate with the men in my workplace. So already your mind is primed. So in that grief, you can quickly shift and say, okay, I think this is what I was born for. So, and move on to, you know, bettering yourself, empowering yourself, shifting to better things. But remember, the men you're dealing with, same age group, or even if it's slightly, maybe plus 5, 10, we didn't go through all that. All this empowerment stuff, we kept it for, it was almost like it was for them, it was not for us. Then life hits. So
is it a Kenyan thing? Is it a generational thing throughout the world? What is it?
It's generational. It's not Kenyan. Remember, women empowerment has been going across the world.
Across the world,
right? It's a great thing. It is, but we left the men behind. So when the men hit the wall, also we don't have something to fall back on. Unfortunately. Now I'm so glad because there are many platforms that are helping men before they hit that wall or when they're in that wall. For example, divorce care, there are quite a number of places that guys go to. I didn't do that stuff. I purposely, I think I went through my own session with a therapist and all that. And as a man, when I look back and say, as much as, yes, it was difficult, it was extremely difficult, I think purposely I had already decided that whatever's going to happen in my life, I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to empower myself. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. Unfortunately, not very many men are that way. And that's why suicides, like we were talking before, are very high in men. Because you're not primed for that space where things are hard now. What do you do from this and move forward?
Let me ask you. When I got divorced, at that moment, I didn't feel like I was a failure. I felt.
How did you feel?
Actually, this is the time I'm thinking about it. It's quite some years ago. It's almost 9.
Okay.
I felt I deserved better. I felt, maybe we'll even discuss that in one of our topics on the 50-50.
Yeah.
I felt that the individual wasn't bringing home the butter. He was not maximizing on his potential on that one. I felt like he could have done better and made more responsible choices. I felt like I was conned into marriage. I bought into a dream.
Wait a minute. What do you mean conned?
You know the way you're sold to a dream and you buy into it, and the person does not live up to whatever it is that you had agreed from the start.
Okay.
I felt like I was conned, honestly.
Okay.
Because we did it the right way from church. And
then what happened? What shifted?
We grew in different directions.
Okay.
That now goes to men empowerment, where they were not investing emotionally in their relationship, and not just a relationship with me, but so investing emotionally with the children. And when I talk of 50-50 that we're going to be talking about at some point, it's not about money only. It is the time you spend and what you do during that time.
Yeah.
In my opinion, when it comes to parenting, it's not about going to the mall and having a meal. It is the discussions you have at that, but it doesn't have to be you having money to go to the mall. It can be we are seated in the house and we are playing cards, or we are doing Scrabble or something, and in that moment you're actually instilling certain values in that child. But if you have no time, you don't want to invest that emotional and physical attention on your children or even on your woman, why are we together?
And again, I think it comes down to what were you guys empowered to be, and men were left behind, so we didn't understand.
So now for me, the conning came where I expected this from somebody, and it was not being delivered. I still have those expectations, especially if we have children. And now, because I'm 40, man, don't think I'm having any more children in my life. But now in the next marriage, because I believe in the institution of marriage, I would want someone who actually is so aware of themselves to the point where they know their role or their responsibility towards their woman. Because I think I'm very aware of what my responsibility is towards my man, but then maybe he's the one who's going to say whether I'm actually living up to it when it happens. It might be who's giving myself marks. And now I'm not even there. But how did it feel when you had your first divorce and then your second one? What was the feeling behind it?
It's terrible. It's hard. You lose a part of your soul. You know, you were going a certain direction and leading a certain direction, and then all of a sudden you look behind and realize the person is gone. They're gone. They're not with you anymore, and I don't know. When you live in Chags and you've been, Kokombele, you're walking with a torch, then you look behind and see, hey, ameenda na hata ujui hata they branched off. So that's how you feel, and you actually feel lost. Men are human beings. We also want to be looked up to. We want the women in our lives to see us as the leaders. And when we realize that they're not looking at us like that, it does something. It shatters our ego. Because we say, okay, we thought that we were going the right direction. We thought we were together. We had even agreed. There was no contention or what we thought. Then all of a sudden you realize that you're on your own.
Did you ever have a conversation on what really happened with the individual?
Yes, the first one, yes. My first ex-wife, we are cordial, we talk. We are not at loggerheads. I can call her. She's just out of the country. I can call her and we can have a conversation. It was hard the first few years, Let's say the first 3-4 years, yes, we didn't have a conversation, but when we finally did, it became easy, and we ended up just, talking, and, she realized that she made a mistake.
Yeah.
I also made a mistake. I also made my mistake. So we both made mistakes. But when we went apart, she realized that she did the wrong thing at that particular point. The actions she did to create that rift were more. I was trying to put the rift, I was trying to, just put us back together, then move. And that's life. I think you know that very well.
Yeah.
Men and women, we can't agree on everything. And we have very different opinions on how things should run. It could be our careers, it could be our lives, it could be who we talk to, like you're saying, how we, just conduct parenting. It's very different, our roles. And that's why we need to work together to find the differences and work with the differences.
Yeah.
So I also believe in institutional marriage. That's straight up. I say, when it comes to marriage, marriage is a sacred institution. It should be respected.
Yeah.
And when as a leader, I say, I'm a man. If I see something wrong, I will try and fix it.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Yeah.
If I see, I'll give you an example. There's one time I was crossing a road and this child was on the other side. I think that's a common thing. Child was on the other side, crossing with a school bag. And I was just walking and I'm just seeing this child is trying to cross the road, but the cars are passing. So when they tried to cross, there was one car that was overtaking. And I had to jump in, just stop. I had to stop the car.
Yeah.
Because now the child was already on the road.
Yeah.
And I had to take leadership and stop the car. So, and slow them down. So that's when the guy who was overtaking realized, wait a minute, there's someone. So this guy stopped and this guy stopped. So the child was able to cross. I was like, okay. I mean, it's natural for us. We want to make sure we fix things. So for me, when I saw the relationship was going a certain way, I was like, no, this needs to work. Yes, you have your differences, and I have my differences, and we can sort them out, or we can just stick with them. But what I don't want is us to go apart. But she decided, she wanted to go apart, and later on, she looked back, and I think she said, I think. We should have just stayed together, but it was too late. Second divorce, well, that's ugly, but again, I was not for it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I was not for it. I think I was one who was getting the least out of that relationship, but I was still for it.
Why?
This thing of women empowerment is crazy. Yeah, I was in business. I was doing business consultancy that time. I was growing my business. I'd left a good job and now gone completely in business, and I was in different businesses. And then things were going well, and all of a sudden things shifted after the 2020 elections. Things were just going down. And I'd spent most of my life savings building these businesses, putting money into these businesses and time and effort. So it had taken a toll on my health, took a toll on my finances, took a toll on everything, even my time.
Yeah.
And I was sick. I was in and out of hospital, and at that point is when she left. So.
But why did you want to keep it?
You
are the one who was receiving the least in the relationship.
Yes.
Why did you feel you needed to keep the relationship? Both of them, why? Because
the institution of marriage, again, there's always ups and downs. That's what life has taught me.
Yeah.
And today you could be down and tomorrow you're up. Nothing is smooth. Even even Bezos, with all his money, he has trouble. I can bet you today morning was a Sunday, probably even they had a fight with the wife.
Part of life.
So everyone has ups and downs, and whether it could be financial, whether it could be emotional, whether it could be where you are in your career, whether it could be children, whether it could be sickness. And that's why I think sickness and health, right?
Yeah.
That's why you do those vows. That's why you decide I'm getting into this thing, because at some point it could be bad, and it's also a life lesson. If you can't stick through some things, some valleys, let me tell you, you go to the next relationship, you'll find the same valleys. You'll find the same place.
But then how do we have, I agree on the part where you'll find there's some things that you cannot stay away from. But how do we make relationships work? Especially, it is said that the probability of someone who has been divorced before to get into another divorce grows higher by the number of divorces you have. Yeah. There's a song that goes, I'm way too good at goodbye. The other day I was listening to it, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Please hold me on this one. But how do we make them last? Because I say and I want, and my prayer is that my next marriage, we are going to make sure even in our 80s and 90s, until God tells us it's our time to go, we'll still be working it out.
This is how I think about it. Just my thoughts, how I think about it. Life is very short. Could be here today, gone tomorrow.
True.
Okay? So I make the best of it.
Yeah.
Every situation that I'm in. I've decided to get into a marriage, it's intentional. I will make the best of it, meaning I will put my best foot forward at every single time. And when I can't, I'll make it up.
Okay.
Meaning I'll commit, I'll do the things I'm supposed to do. If I fall back on some certain promises, expectations, I will make it up. That means I'll keep it intentionally up here.
Yeah.
That, okay, we didn't get to go to the holiday that we wanted to go to last year. So this year I'm going to work hard to be able to put some money and say, I'm going to make it up. Yeah. We didn't manage to invest what we wanted to invest last year. For example, Corona has shown us life is unpredictable. We can't expect life to always work the way we want it to work. That's the truth.
Yes.
I live the best life that I can and say, the person I'm with, intentionally, first, I work intentionally, I respect the person, and then I love a person.
You know, there's something that you have said that has made me think of something. You've mentioned holiday, you've mentioned investment, so you're more on resources. I think you're generally wired as a man to think of resources.
Yeah, true.
As a first.
True.
But this is just from my thought and experience, I think resources should come last. Of course, it's your responsibility, and it's innate in you as a man that you are the one who's the hunter, you're the one who will go get the resources, it's in you. However, I think for marriages to thrive, we need to first put resources, of course, on the side, but of course they're needed, and then concentrate on the two human beings that are involved in this relationship. Imagine, remove resources. Let's look at a perfect world, okay? Where we have a beautiful home, food is there in plenty, as in there's no lack, schools are free. Let's dream it.
Okay.
Perfect world.
Okay.
What will be between you and your woman, and what would be your purpose of existence in that institution? Yeah.
It's to build each other, to grow each other. So you're there. We both have our needs, our dreams.
Yeah.
Right? How do we bring those dreams together? How do we make it work for both of us? How do I make sure that I'm happy?
Yeah.
And then you make sure you're happy, and then we come together to make that work.
Two happy souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means also we permeate that down to the kids. We permeate down that to whoever interacts with us, or our family generally. I don't think it's easy for a man to put resources behind. It's impossible, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And why I say this is, when we do, then it becomes a problem. If we put resources at the back.
Yeah.
And then when we put resources at the front, it also becomes a problem.
Yeah, you have to find a middle ground.
There is a middle ground,
yeah.
But either way, we are providers.
Yeah.
So if we don't have that particular part where it is intentional. So yes, there's resources first, because we've got to live, we've got to eat, we've got to have a roof over our heads, we've got to pay bills, we've got to move life, we've got to invest. And remember, a man always thinks about the future. Like, I already know 10 years down the line what I want to do.
Yeah.
10 years. I know. I'm absolutely sure. That could change because there are many things that happen in between.
Yeah.
But I have an idea and I have a plan, and it's written down.
Yeah.
And that it involves me, but with that plan, I know I need resources. It helps me also say, if I need to get here, how much do I need? What do I need to be making? How do I need to be able to move from where I am right now to where I want to get to? So resources is so key. Yeah. However, again, I understand what you're saying. You can't forget the fact that there's, women's needs.
Yeah.
Your emotional needs.
Yeah.
There's the children's emotional needs.
Yes.
Right? So yes, there's the resources are done. We have the roof, whatever, everything done. But then there's the emotional side of that.
Yeah.
And that is now where a lot of men also we struggle, because we do not know how to multitask beyond tukuna resources. Sasa now we're supposed to give emotional resources.
Yeah.
And now we are feeling a bit spent.
Yeah.
Or we feel, see, I've done this side of the house and everything. I've done investment, I've done the plan.
Yeah.
This is how we're going. This is the plan for our lives. This is our kids. We even know Maka University where they're going. I'm spent.
But
so,
then don't we also invest in you emotionally?
Yes, you do.
As in, your feeding emotionally actually comes from your woman.
Yeah. It does.
So your feeding to the woman is not just financial, you also need to feed her emotionally. But
Yes.
that's a conversation we're going to have some other time.
Yeah.
See you in a little bit. So,